Hey there, today we're going to take a look at this Strunk 2-man gear drive military saw. This saw I got from a collector who had it hanging over his doorway for years. He's not even sure exactly when he got it. If I had to date it, it would be between 55, 59, somewhere in there. Overall length of this saw when it's put together is just over 5 foot long. Saw's in really good shape. It's not running right now. You're gonna have to get it going. I did when I got it. I've replaced the fuel line that had rotted off of it, and replaced the fuel line in the tank, put a new filter in it. And as soon as I opened up the petcock there on the side, the gas started to pour out the carburetor, so wasn't no sense in going any further than that. You're gonna have to put a carburetor kit in it. This is the Tilson HL series carburetor. I believe the model is a 52A. They're really nice carburetors, very easy to rebuild. They have kits all day long online. It probably won't take you half hour or so to rebuild that carburetor and go from there. Saw does have good spark. The compression is right around 130, 135. I'm not sure where it needs to be. What's considered good on this. If you're comparing it to, the old McCulloughs or the Husqvarnas or any of those guys, they run a lot higher compression. But these older motors, I'm not exactly sure where it's supposed to be. But right now it's sitting at 135. I did shoot a little WD-40 in there just to lube the cylinder, but I have not put any fuel in the cylinder and tried to fire it myself. Without rebuilding that carburetor, there's no sense in going any further than that. This is the military style plug here. This has been upgraded, and I'm sure they did that after they put it into service. This is the tag right here. It says on there it was put in service 1158, and it's got the Corps of Army Engineers plate on there, serial number and everything. The motor, I'm not sure. It may be a West Bend motor. It has the exhaust dumping out the front there, and there's a long snout to get it lower to the bottom. It looks like there may have been some other cooling fins up here that they screw on. They may have been removed just to get the cover on it. It's got a bar's in really good shape. It doesn't appear that this saw has really probably been used. It may have been tested a few times and put on a shelf. The chain doesn't look like it's ever had a file across it. It's probably never been sharpened, and it is still, still looks brand new, like right out of the pack. So you have a helper handle, and it's a Strunk helper handle. I'll show you the other side when we flip it over here. The fallen spikes look like they may have been made by the Army and put onto this. Starter catches sometimes, other times you have to kind of jiggle it sometimes to get her to catch. It has the manual oiler. Some of these didn't have manual oilers. They just had like a trickle system where you just open the petcock and it just drizzled. It does not have the air filter. That's missing. I haven't taken this apart in any way. The only thing I did do was put the fuel line in the tank and put a new fuel filter in there. And it's got a flipper around here for you. And you can see on the helper handle it says Strunk, which I have not seen really very many two-man versions of a Strunk chainsaw. The model I'm not sure of. It is a gear drive. I know they had some big machetes and some different versions of the Speed Demon. I also have a Speed Demon that's got the AH-47 Power Products motor in it. But I did put this fuel line on there, put some fuel in the tank, and as soon as I opened that petcock, she just started pouring out. So I didn't go any further than that. So you're going to have to get into the carburetor a little bit. It does have hot spark, so you're a step ahead there. You can look up in here and see the clutch. in this area, I haven't cleaned this saw at all. This is exactly how it was, and there is a very little bit of pitch left up in there, which, let me see here, there is a very little bit of pitch in there, and it may have had a test cut, but that was probably about it. So, and you can see the bottom of this saw, there's no dings or dents, chips, or any real scratches. The bar's in great shape, the handlebar, and you see the serial numbers there on the bottom of the saw. The inside of the tank I did just a very little bit of cleaning on. It does have some varnish staining in it, but no corrosion. This saw's been indoors, probably all its life, so it's never actually been laying out in a barn, nowhere for it to get corroded or anything. And looking through the cylinder, through the exhaust port, and through the spark plug hole, the cylinder's very clean. You can still see the cross hatching in the cylinder itself. See if we can look up through the exhaust port here. You may be able to see the piston in there. It's very clean. And really shouldn't be much to get this saw going. Or you may just want to hang it over a doorway. It's a strunk 2-man gear drive chainsaw from the 50s.